going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back for yet another bodybuilding news update. We are 1 week out from the Mr. Olympia competition. I've got some updates here at a week out, but we're going to have to start this one off with some unfortunate news, which I think most of us were expecting at this point, but we now have firm confirmation that Behrooz Tabani will not be competing at the 2024 Mr. Olympia. So Milo Sarshev actually posted here, I am devastated to report that for the third year in a row, Behrooz Tabani was not granted US visa, and he'll miss out competing once again at the most prestigious bodybuilding event of the year, the Mr. Olympia. Ridiculously, his visa application is still pending, and he is officially informed your application is subject to administrative processing. Time varies by case and can take days to months. The date of his original interview was November 23rd, 2021. Yet again, the date of his interview was November 23rd, 2021. It is taking years. The real problem is, would that administrative processing ever conclude, and could Behrooz actually earn his living competing in multiple US organized events that could potentially generate him well over $1 million next year alone? God help him. So I know that Behrooz did try to go a little bit of a different route this year by getting involved with an Iranian-based company. I believe they were into chemical manufacturing of some sort, but apparently that didn't work. And maybe that was trying to take the approach that Hadi Chupin has taken, where at least I've heard that Hadi actually became an employee of Evogen Nutrition, so he was able to travel and get a work visa through that portal. And again, I don't have confirmation on that in particular, but it seems like that's the route that Behrooz tried to take. So this is a travesty for the world of bodybuilding. This is a travesty for Behrooz Tabani. It's an injustice for Behrooz Tabani and the fans of bodybuilding. In the Mr. Olympia competition, the rest of the competitors want to stand on stage with the best in the world. And unfortunately, they're going to be one less this year. Behrooz, I think, could have placed within the top 8 this year. The conditioning factor alone that we were seeing from Behrooz Tabani this year, he won the Italy Pro, he won the Dubai Pro. Unbelievable. Some of the best conditioning that we saw of any competitors throughout the 2024 season. Behrooz has continued to put his health on the line. You got to think about that too. For 3 years in a row, within the last couple of weeks of the Olympia competition, Behrooz has continued to diet down, all with just the hope that he would be able to make it. And so my best wishes go out to Behrooz. I really hope that we can see him qualify again in 2025, and I really hope that we'll finally see him on that Mr. Olympia stage. You guys let me know where you think Behrooz would have placed this year at the Mr. Olympia. And like I said, hopefully 2025 is going to be a different story. All right, we've got an update here from a classic physique competitor that I think has the potential to really make some noise in his Olympia debut. Ji Hoon Bang, also known as Frame92 Baki on Instagram, actually won the Korea Pro earlier this year. No, actually, it was November in 2023 that he ended up winning that show to qualify for this year's Olympia. And this is a competitor that has fantastic classic proportions here. He's got the sweeping legs, very, very good size when it comes to the quads here. You can see the detail in the quads. This is at about a week out of the competition. He's doing some posing at the Dragon's Lair there in Vegas. From top to bottom, he's not really missing anything in particular. He's got great front shots. He's got great back shots. The detail in the back is definitely there. He's actually been getting some help from Neil Yoda Hill while he's been in Vegas. I'm not really sure if it's his actual coach or not, but this is a guy I think that might be able to do battle for even maybe a top 6 spot, honestly. If he really does bring that conditioning factor like we've seen in the past, I've got some show footage I'll show you guys in a minute. You might be able to see him do battle with guys like Michael DeBull, Mike Sommerfeld, and I think he might be able to hold his own. Now, when it comes to Mike Sommerfeld, I think that Mike may have a bit of size on him when it comes to the upper body, but when it comes to overall conditioning, if he actually does show up on stage in the shape that I think he's going to, he might be able to defeat Mike in that regard. Michael DeBull, again, is going to bring fantastic conditioning, that we know for sure, but when it comes to overall structure, I think that Ji Hoon Bang just has a superior classic structure than Michael DeBull. So you can see here from back at the Korea Pro, I mean, this is a classic competitor just by definition. And look at the conditioning factor here. You know, this guy really did bring it when it came to that Korea Pro, and he deserves to be up there on that Olympia stage, no question. But the question is, does he deserve to really crack that top 10 when it comes to the Mr. Olympia? Think about guys like Matt Grego, who's expected to make the top 10 this year. Can he defeat a guy like Matt Grego? I actually think that he might have the chance to do it, although Matt might have a little bit of size on him through the upper body. You know, I find that Matt's always been more a little bit built for bodybuilding more than classic, but that's a conversation for another day. The fact of the matter is, I think that Ji Hoon Bang may have a shot at not only cracking the top 10, but he may have a shot at actually battling for a top 6 spot at his Olympia debut. Is that a bold statement? Absolutely, it's a bold statement. But there's something about this guy that just strikes me as really coming in and really making some noise right out of the gate. If he does bring that conditioning factor. So you guys let me know what you think about that in particular. Do you think that Ji Hoon Bang may be able to compete at a top 6 position at the Mr. Olympia competition this year? Let me know below. All right, we've got an update here from Martin Fitzwater at a week out of the Olympia. This was actually posted on the Rep 1 YouTube page, so I'll put that full video in the description below for you guys. And Martin actually goes through a full round of the quarter turns and mandatory poses for his coach, Boss of Outlaw. And I've seen a lot of people online that were saying that, in particular, Martin just doesn't look ready at a week out of the show based on what they're seeing here. Now, in my opinion, I think that this video was simply poor lighting at being very, very flat for a week out of the show. And this is not a true representation of the Martin Fitzwater that we will see on stage. And if you do look closely, you can see the striations going through the teardrops. You can see the detail through the back. You can see the striations in the shoulders. Guys, Martin Fitzwater is not showing up out of shape on that Mr. Olympia stage, okay? I do think that Martin may have come up just a little bit in size compared to what we saw at the New York Pro. So if you couple that improvement with the conditioning factor that he brings, this is another guy that is posed in a lot of people's minds to make it into that top 6 in his Olympia debut. So these are not unheard of conversations at the Mr. Olympia this year, you guys. So for that top 6, who can we expect Martin to potentially do battle with here? We're talking Brandon Curry, we're talking Hunter Labrada, Rafael Brandao. These are all guys that are well known out there to really have a shot in around that 5th, 6th place spot, right? When it comes to Brandon Curry, I think that Martin has the size of the legs, the quads, especially overall over Brandon. Brandon probably has a little bit more round, bubbly muscle up top than Martin at this point, especially through the shoulders. But again, Martin might have a shot at defeating a previous Mr. Olympia winner, if the judges will give that to Martin Fitzwater, which some question that they may or may not. When it comes to Rafael Brandao, now that's a comparison that I'm actually really looking forward to seeing because we know that Rafael has improved as well. We're going to get to an update here with Rafael in a minute. From a size standpoint, Rafael has definitely improved, and he does have a little bit of a different flow overall than Martin. I'm not going to say a better overall flow when it comes to a bodybuilding stage because Martin does have that small midsection. He's got a great X frame as well. I guess it's really going to come down to size and conditioning when it comes to Martin versus Rafael. So that's going to be a really good battle. Hunter Labrada, that is another really good battle between a guy like Martin Fitzwater because Martin, I think, may have superior structure on Hunter overall, probably comparable from a size standpoint. Definitely a better midsection. But Hunter brings that hard, grainy muscle, that superior conditioning potentially. So again, these are going to be unbelievable battles this year at the Olympia. It's not just between 1st and 5th that we're really going to see battles on that stage, you guys. 6th to 10th, I think is going to be very, very interesting. So you guys let me know where you think Martin Fitzwater might place at his Olympia debut. Do you think that Martin could take top 6 at his Olympia debut? Do you have him even in your top 5? I've seen conversations like that going around. Let me know in the comments below where you're going to place Martin Fitzwater this year. Rafael Brandao. Now, this is a competitor that I find more and more difficult to really place the more that I see updates from Rafael. We've got an update here at a week out of the Mr. Olympia, and the size difference from Rafael, I think from what we're seeing now, even compared to what we saw even 2 months ago, it looks like he even grew into the show while he really dialed in that conditioning. This is definitely the biggest version of Rafael Brandao that we have ever seen, and he is definitely showing up this year to make a huge statement in bodybuilding. And you know, Rafael was actually a little bit off of my radar this year, but this cannot be ignored when it comes to the improvements that we're seeing from Rafael. Just look at the size of the shoulders, the detail that we can see in the shoulders here, the sweeping quads. His arms, I think, came up in size probably even more than his shoulders did, but the proportions are still absolutely spot on for a guy like Rafael. Very, very well known for his proportions from top to bottom. Midsection still dialed in from what we can see, even with the increased size. So Rafael Brandao has definitely put on the size that he was looking to put on in order to really step it up on that Olympia stage. No doubt he is definitely there from a size standpoint. Now, I think it's going to come down to conditioning for Rafael, because although he does look good in some of these updates, the conditioning factor could be his Achilles heel, because it's always difficult when it comes to guys that have gained new size. It is a different peaking process when it comes to that body type in particular now. I mean, the guy looks like he's up, honestly, what, 10, 15 pounds of stage weight? That's kind of a big range, but I think he is within that range of size that he's actually put on, quality size. So we'll see how that affects him when it comes to the peaking process. Let me know where you have Rafael Brandao in your predictions in the comments below. Do you have Rafael cracking that top 6 based on these updates? Or do you have Rafael closer to maybe top 8 or top 10 at this point? Let me know below. But you guys, I'm going to have to get my predictions out there soon. So stay tuned for that. And we will be going live for the entire Olympia weekend. We'll be doing Classic. We'll be doing 212. We'll be doing Open. You guys, this is going to be a very exciting Olympia this year. Make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. For now, I'm signing off. Stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.